Principles of scheduling. Why the principle has made and what are the reasons of these principles basically. So basically the principle of scheduling is schedule job in continuation. Okay, to schedule all the jobs in a continuation, show the process because the production process is a continuous process, so we have to schedule, or a company has to schedule the overall jobs in different we can say different parts, and these parts are continuously working. After starting a job, finish it. First of all, we have, if we are we can say that we are making some job schedule, so first of all we have to complete first task, then we reach towards the second job. Okay, because they are scheduled as per the machineries. Okay, if the machinery of the cutting machinery, and after that we have a packaging machinery, so we cannot shift packaging first and cutting after, because every sheet is cutting, and after that it will going for the packaging, or it will going for the overall look of that particular product. Okay, real time feedback and real time adjustment. Next is knowledge of capacity of machine and workers. Here we have to know about the machine capacity and workers. Next is continuous enhancement of products and process. Here we have to know, we have to work for the continuous enrichment of the particular processes and continuous improvement of the products. Okay, so that we will make, or we can say this is also a principle of scheduling, that the scheduling of each and every task should be in a proper manner, so that we can achieve the work. Next is types of scheduling. Scheduling has some different types on that the particular organization works. First is forward scheduling, second is backward, then priority scheduling, then serial scheduling, then parallel scheduling. Next topic is shop loading. First of all, let's discuss what are the different types. Forward scheduling means the coming thing which we are going to produce as per the long term vision we are going to produce, or we have to schedule the things for the long term vision, or we can say which as per the we can say we are planning as per the future. Backward scheduling means the things which we have already done, or after that we are checking that the schedule is okay or not, or we have another we can say we are going for another scheduling. Next is priority scheduling. Next is serial scheduling. Here we have prioritized the schedule. Firstly, what the product which we are going to make, secondly what product we are going to make, third what we are going to produce. So as per the schedule, suppose a company is producing the stationery items, pencils, rubbers, erasers, or sharpeners, and copies. So first of all we have to know that what are the requirement in the market. As per these requirements we make the priority. Okay, suppose the schools are going to open, so in starting they need this student need some stationery like pencil or eraser. So first of all they will make these products, secondary they will make the lunch boxes, third they make the bags. So that is the priority. Next is serial scheduling. We have to make a proper serial, first step, second step, third step, or it's a kind of process. Next is parallel scheduling. Parallel scheduling means all the processes are going in a line. Okay, we cannot stop any of the process, each just like the railway track, or both lines are going parallelly. Next topic is shop loading. Shop loading is the process of assigning specific jobs to machines, work centers based on relative priorities and capacities. And utilization shop, we can say shop loading means here we are assigning the task to every machine. Okay, suppose we are having a machine which is going to, we can say, which is going to plane the sheets. Okay, next is second sheet we are going to printing. Okay, third after the printing it will go for the coloring. Next is after it will go for the cutting. So each and every machine should be in a proper manner, so that we can specifically we can do the job. Suppose just take an example of aloo chips, your potato chips making manufacturing company, what will they do? They will assign the job to each and every company as per their task. Just suppose first task is to peel the potatoes. First, no, before that they will clean the potatoes. After cleaning, the potatoes will go for the peeling. Okay, the machine will peel these potatoes. After this, it will chop these potatoes in a small pieces. Next, for roasting these potatoes. Next, it will go for the, we can say, some spices will add in these kind of potatoes. Okay, and then it will go for the packaging, or there are some small packets, either small packets we are using, either big packets we are using in different machines have, we can say, installed for 5 rupees packet, for 10 rupees packet, for 20 rupees, for 50 rupees. So as per these requirement, we will send these potatoes and it will pack in different machines. Okay, so that is called shop loading. What we are, we can say, as per the schedule what we are making. Next is shop loading ensure maximum possible utilization of production facilities and avoid bottleneck in production. Shop loading basically utilize maximum to maximum, we can say, utilization of all the resources. Okay, and in a possible manner for the production facility and avoid all the bottlenecks. It means they will avoid the wastages in the production. Next is, it is important to avoid either overloading or underloading the facilities. Now the company will do what they do. They will do either, if the product is overloaded or underloaded, they will check that is there any necessity of the more products, or we have already overburdened product, or we have already, we can say, overloaded things. So after, as per these requirements, we will go for the shop loading. Next shop loading. Okay, next is work centers or machines to ensure maximum utilization of resources. We justify that what machine are doing which kind of processes, where or in which unit we have assigned the task. Every specification of these tasks is called the shop loading. Okay, next is, what are the objectives of shop loading? Number one, reduce setup time. Number second is, setup time means here we know that where we have to put any kind of material. We know very well that these are different departments, and where we have to put all these material, where the material will receive, where the material will flow, each and everything we know very well. So our setup time of all these things will reduce. Next is, fix up the delivery dates. Here we will fix all the dates as per the schedule. Okay, what we are making as per the schedule, we will deliver, we will give the delivery dates, that at what date we are delivering which kind of product. Next is, eventually load the plant and balance workload with available machines and labor capacity. Here we know that each and every plant and balance work is going, so we know or which machine is producing which kind of product. So as per this, we will make some events, at which event is producing which kind of product. This is making packets, this is making raw material, or each and everything we know. So as per the eventually loading the plant and balance workload with available machine and labor capacity, we will load the machines as per their own capacity. If the machine is not capable, we cannot give the overburden to that machine. Next is, reduce waiting time for job to be loaded on the machines. Here, suppose we have assigned a task to a machine and we are waiting for the completion of this task. It means we are wasting our time. Okay, we should have number of machines, so that if one machine is busy for production, so we will install the raw material to another machine. Okay, so that we can easily reduce the waiting time of the machineries or any kind of job. Next one is, reduce idle time of men and machineries. Here we will reduce our idle time where it is men using time or machine using time. We have to reduce each and every particular machine time so that we can easily justify that at what time we will produce, we can say we can easily deliver as per the requirement. So it should very necessary that man and machine both have a different kind of task, and the idle time will be properly set so that we can reduce the wastage times. Next is increase the efficiency of utilization of plant capacity. Here we can easily, we can say, efficiently using the overall utilization of resources, because we know each and every point or everything is planned, okay, and efficiently we are using. So we can easily, we can say, increase the capacity of our particular plant. So these are the objectives of shock loading. Next point is index method. What is index method and what are the uses of these methods? This method is used for the purpose of loading and also for allocating the different jobs to different machines. Index method means we have properly scheduled, we are properly indexed each and every machine and each and every person. Skilled labor is necessary for using if different kinds of, we can say, different machines. So it is very necessary that we have installed each and every machine very efficiently. Or the basic purpose of this index method is that we have a proper schedule and we have a proper indexing of each and everything, where we are, which task is going to do, and which unit what kind of task is going to do, or in which process is efficient or not. That so as per these purposes we can easily, we can say, we can easily monitor which machine is not working properly, which man is not working properly, the machines are, we can say, are efficiently working or not, they are taking too much time or not, or in production if they are taking too much time, we will remove this machine and we will install another machine. So this is called the indexing method. Generally order are assigned to the basic of the first come first assigned. First come first assigned means machine has arrived and we will install it and we will start the production. We do not wait for each and everything, or we cannot delay the production process overall. Next method is line balancing. Line balancing means, line balancing is arranging a production line so that there is an even flow of production from one workstation to the next workstation. Means line balancing means here we have a proper line or arrangement of each and every production unit. We know that in which particular area what kind of process is going. Okay, suppose in unit 1 we are making the cutting of the clothes. In the next in a unit we are stitching these clothes. In third we are painting these clothes. In next we are pressing or ironing on these clothes. So we should know very well that we have arranged a production line in a proper manner, so the workstation or a next workstation would receive the product or raw material in a proper manner, so that there is no delay at any workstation that will leave the next station with a idle time. So that is called line balancing. Next is the assembly line balancing problem, is assigning all the tasks to a series of workstation. Here the assembly lines, we can say, a balancing problem is assigning all the tasks to a series of workstations so that each workstation has no more task or work than can be done in the cycle time, as well as the unassigned time across all workstations is minimized. Means we are very well known that each workstation is producing different kinds of product. After this making these products, we can say that we will assemble these lines, and after assemble these lines we will add some parts and components, and after that we will find the finished product. So this is called line balancing. Now, what are the procedures of line balancing? Determine what task must be performed to complete one unit of finished product and the sequence in which the task must be performed. Draw the precedence diagram. First of all, we should know and determine which task we are going to perform, or which unit is producing best to best products, and what will be the sequence. Next point is estimate the task time, or the amount of time taken by the worker to perform each task. Now we will estimate the overall time, in how much time a particular process will take to make this product or to perform the operations. Next is determine the cycle time, or the amount of time that would be elapsed between producing coming off to the end and the assembly line if the desired hourly production were being produced. It means we have to know that if our assembly lines are we can say as we are going to assemble the products, or if we have completed the production but assembly line have not joined with these products, so that can be delayed. So we have to know that the assembly lines are properly arranged with the cycle time or not. We should we can say we should work as per these requirements. Next is assign each task to the worker and balance the assembly line. Now we can say we can easily work, or we can assign the task to each and every worker and should balance the assemble line so that the delay time can reduced. Now after this, what we will do a case study related to the capacity or production planning and control. How we can easily or efficiently achieve our task, or how we can easily find out the better to better capacity or better to better productivity by our functioning. Okay, so first of all we will reach towards the Tata Motors case study. So basically, Tata Motors, a part of Tata Group, is one of the largest automobile manufacturer of India. With a diverse range of vehicles from passenger cars to commercial vehicles. We know that it will produce different, we can say, passenger cars to the commercial vehicles also. And it is working for each from small to big, okay, and more specific products. So Tata Motor faced significant challenges in managing production capacity, especially during periods of high demand and market fluctuation. Because of some we can say the high demand in the of product in the market, they faced some capacity problem, some market fluctuation problem. After this reading this we can say the challenges what they occur in their we can say their case study. We will read what type of problem they have faced, or what kind of solution they implement in their case study. Next, what are the challenges? First of all, we will read what are the challenges. So first of all, the challenges, number one challenge is market demand fluctuation. Market demand fluctuation means the Indian automobile market is highly dynamic. We very well know that our Indian market is very dynamic market. We don't know what will happen in the next second. Okay, the players of motor cars, or the players who are private players either, or they are public players, they have to face each and every problem of market. So, just because of the highly dynamic environment with demand often fluctuating due to economic conditions, fuel prices, and consumer preferences. Why the market is too much dynamic? Just because of the economic condition can change each and every time. The fuel prices are rising, or we can say changing timely, and the consumer preferences is also changing. So that's why it is a very big deal to maintain these kind of problems. Next is Tata Motors had to adjust its production capacity to align with these changes. It means we should Tata Motors is because they were very big player of we can say in automobile manufacturer. So we can say the company has to maintain their production capacity as per the demand in the market. Next is production bottleneck. Production bottleneck means specific stages in the manufacturing processes such as assembly and quality control were prone to bottleneck, leading to delay and increased lead time. What does it mean? It means that there is an assembly and there is a quality control between the different products, and we know that how we can reduce these bottlenecks, uh, why the production is so delayed, and what are the reasons of taking too much time in the production. So as per these this point, we this kind of stage can create a challenge for Tata Motors. Next is resource allocation. Resource allocation means efficient utilization of labor and machinery was a persistent challenge, with instance of both overutilization and underutilization impacting overall efficiency. It means a company using, we can say, of Tata Motors, the machinery, the labor, and all kind of challenges are coming in the proper functioning in Tata Motors. Now, what they implement and why they implement the capacity planning, and what are the benefits of capacity planning implementation in Tata Motors organization. First of all, advanced demand forecasting. Just because the capacity planning, they can easily forecast the demand of these their products in the market. So Tata Motors adopted advanced demand forecasting techniques, including data analytics and market trends analysis, to better predict future demand. This allow for more accurate planning and resource allocation. Just because of the utilization of capacity planning, the company would be able to predict what are the basic requirement of the products in the market in the coming future. So this is the forecasting technique, we can say. So they had done the advanced demand forecasting. Next point is lean manufacturing principles. In lean manufacturing principle, the company implement lean manufacturing principles to identify and eliminate waste in production process. This includes optimizing workflow, reducing setup times, and improving process synchronization. By the help of lean manufacturing principle, the company implemented these principles to identify and eliminate the waste, and why the production is getting slower. Okay, and overall production process will improve after this lean manufacturing principle. This include optimizing workflow. They easily justify what kind of workflow we have to, if the workflow is capable or not. Okay, they reduce the setup times, they reduce the improving process or synchronization of each and every process to each other. Next point which they implement is flexible production system. As we have already read in unit 1 that flexible manufacturing system is a system which is needed when we need to change each and every point in the organization, we can easily change. So we can say that our process should be very flexible. So Tata Motors invested in flexible production system that allows for quick adjustment in production volumes and products type. This flexibility helped in responding to the market demand changes without significant downtime. It means flexible manufacturing system is a kind of manufacturing system. By the implementing this, we can easily justify, or we can easily adjust our production volume. or product type, what type of product which we are going to produce, and in how much volume we are going to produce. Okay, if we know very well, so it will be easy, it will be easy for the manufacturing processes that they will do for the future forecasting. Okay, next is capacity analysis and expansion. After this capacity analysis and expansion, the company would be able to find out how much capacity we have. Can we expand more or not? We can say, can we open another plant, or can we open another unit for production process? It is needed or not? So this is called the capacity analysis. A detailed capacity analysis was conducted to identify existing constraints and potential areas for expansion. Based on this analysis, Tata Motors expanded its production facilities and upgraded machinery to increase overall capacity. It means the detailed capacity analysis helps a company to identify existing constraints. What are the existing problems, or either our company is able to do or not. Okay, what are the potential areas, what are the we can say our strengths of the company on which we can expand, or we can spend money on that particular areas. Next is, based on this analysis, Tata Motors expanded its production facility and upgraded machineries to increase overall capacity. They know their capacity as per the requirement of this capacity is to install more and more machineries for the production processes, because the demand is very high in the market of Tata Motors. Next is workforce training and optimization. The company focused on the training its workforce to be more versatile and capable of handling multiple tasks. Now, the company knows very well that after providing the training to the employees, either it is skilled training, non-skilled, technician training, technical training, non-technical training, different machinery kind of training, training, different trainings. Which kind of training is required for the workforce for making the person versatile? That a single person can do a different kind of task if they will provide the training to their workers. Okay, so they will handle multiple tasks at one time only. This cross training enables better labor utilization and reduce dependency on specific skill sets. Now the dependency would be reduced of specific skill sets. What will be the result of the implementation of capacity planning and capacity planning? Number one, better demand alignment. Better demand alignment means here we can easily find out or we can easily forecast the demand of Tata Motors in the future. Now, what are the reducing bottleneck? So after implementing the capacity planning, what we found and what are the best results? Number one, better demand alignment. With improvement demand forecasting, Tata Motors could better align its production capacity with market needs, reducing incidence of overproduction and stock out. Next is reduced bottleneck. The capacity planning helped for reducing the bottleneck. The adoption of lean manufacturing and process optimization helped in significantly reducing bottleneck, leading to smoother production flows and shorter lead times. Enhanced resource utilization, because after the we can say implementation of uh, we can say the capacity planning, then the resource utilization would be enhanced. Flexible production system and cross-trained work led to more efficient utilization of machinery and labor, increasingly overall productivity and reduced operational cost. Next point is increased production capacity. The capacity expansion allowed Tata Motors to handle higher production volumes and meeting growing market demand without compromising on the quality or delivery schedules, and improved customer satisfaction by ensuring timely production and delivery on vehicles. Tata Motors improved its reputation for reliability, leading to increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. So these are some results which found by the, we can say, after implementation of capacity planning and control. So the conclusion of this case study is the case study of Tata Motors demonstrated the critical role of effective capacity planning in managing production in a volatile market by leveraging advanced forecasting techniques, adopting lean manufacturing principles, and investing in flexible production system. Tata Motors was able to optimize in its production capacity, reduce operational inefficiency, and enhance customer satisfaction. This approach has helped the company maintain its competitive edge in the dynamic Indian automobile market. As per the technology advancement, each and every company must implement the capacity planning and control, the inventory planning and control. We easily find out what are the problems and how we can easily, we can say, manage these problems, and after implementing these manufacturing principles, a lean manufacturing principle, after implementation of forecasting techniques, either these techniques work or not, after this implementation we can found that really these kind of processes, this kind of principle works for the betterment of each and every organization. Okay, so it was the overall, we can say, capacity planning and control organization, which organization is dealing in a manufacturing processes. So basically, Maruti Suzuki is a very well-known company of India. And what kind of, we can say, after implementation of production planning and control, if the production process will be high or not. So just read about the introduction. So Maruti Suzuki India Limited, MSIL, is the largest automobile manufacturer in India, has set benchmark in production planning and control through its innovative and efficient practices. By the help of Maruti Suzuki, we can say Maruti Suzuki has implemented production planning and control, and thus because of this implementation, they reach towards the efficient or innovative practices. This case study examines the methodologies and system implemented by MSIL to manage its production process effectively. Just because of this case study basically examining what kind of methodology and system implemented by the Maruti Suzuki, how they manage their production process effectively, and what are the basic usage of production planning and control in the organizations. So just read about it. The background of this company is it is founded in 1981, and Maruti Suzuki has revolutionized the Indian automobile industry with its wide range of vehicles. The company has consistently adopted to market demands and technologically advancement, ensuring high levels of productivity and quality. These are some elements of production planning and control at MSIL, yani Maruti Suzuki India Limited. What kind of elements they used in production planning? Number one, demand forecasting. Accurate demand forecasting is a crucial for production planning. MSIL employs sophisticated statistical tool and market analysis technique to predict customer demand. Here, we can say the demand forecasting is basically used that what kind of product is needed in the market as per the technological advancement, and what are the customer demand in the market. Next is inventory management. Inventory management means just in time inventory system is used to minimize inventory cost and reduce waste. Just in time basically works that the overloaded inventory is there, or we know that the bottleneck is there. So through the just in time we can easily reduce the inventory cost and reduce the wastes. This system ensure that material are received only as they are needed in the production process. It means we don't have any kind of bottlenecks of the raw material, so they allowed that kind of inventory system. Next one is production scheduling. In the production scheduling, the company schedule each and every production process. As we know that in the production planning and control, we read that what is production scheduling and what is production planning. Just in time inventory. Each and everything we have already discussed in the particular slides, that what is scheduling, what are the principles of scheduling. As per these methods, the company has implemented what are the basic, we can say, importance of production planning and control. So production scheduling also a part of production planning. Advanced scheduling software helps in planning and production schedules. This include allocating resources, assigning tasks, and setting timelines to ensure a smooth production flow. After this, a particular company will work for the proper manner. Okay. Next is what is capacity planning. As we have already discussed, this capacity planning involves determining the production capacity needed to meet changing demands. MSIL regularly assesses its capacity requirement and makes necessary adjustment to avoid bottlenecks. By the help of capacity planning, company very well know that how much is capacity of how much production capacity we have. Okay, as per the time is changing, as per the technology is changing, can we produce the product as per the market demand or not? If they are not producing the product as per the market demand, the product will obsolete and market demand will reduced. So they have to know that what as per the market analysis, they can easily justify what will be the demand, and after the demand forecasting they should know that either we have capable for making these products or not. Next, the we can say the production planning and control point is quality control. This is also very important, that which we are making that will be quality wise good or not. Okay, suppose the parts of the cars are not working properly, and there is the gear of the car is not smooth or flexible, so it will create a problem for the user. So the quality should be very effective as per the market demand, because there are number of companies working, automobile companies are working in the market. So as per the comparison, or as per the competitive edge, we should maintain the proper quality. So MSIL follows stringent quality control measures at every stage of the production. Statistical process control and total quality management. They properly use the SPC and they properly use the TQM. In the unit 3, we have already read about the SPC and TQM. Techniques are used to maintain high quality standards. Next one is lean manufacturing. Lean manufacturing process is also followed, lean manufacturing system is also followed by the Maruti Suzuki company for production planning and control. Lean manufacturing principles are applied to eliminate waste, improve efficiency and enhance product quality. Basically, continuous improvement or Kaizen is a key aspect of MSIL's production strategy. So basically, these are some challenges and solutions which the company found after the implementation of production planning and control. They can easily, these are some challenges comes. Number one, managing fluctuating demand, because the demand were fluctuating in the market, so it is very difficult to manage these fluctuating demand. So MSIL faced the challenges of fluctuating demand in the automobile market by implementing flexible manufacturing system, the agile production practices. The company can quickly adjust to the market changes. Ensuring consistent quality across all production units in the challenges, MSIL address this by investing in advanced quality control technologies and regular training for its workplace. Next is supply chain disruption. Just because of supply chain disruption, it can create some kind of problem or challenges for the Maruti Suzuki Private India Limited. The disruption in supply chain can impact production schedules. MSIL mitigates this risk by diversifying its supplier base and maintaining buffer stocks for critical components. These are some results and achievements which have found by the MSIL after this case study, that what are the we can say what are the achievements is they found the increased efficiency, the implementation of efficient production planning and control system has led to significant improvement in operational efficiency. Next is cost reduction. By optimizing inventory level and reducing waste, MSIL has achieved substantial cost saving. Next is high quality standards. Continuous focus on quality control has resulted in higher customer satisfaction and low defect rates. Next is market leadership. Effective production planning and control have enables MSIL to maintain its leadership positioning in highly competitive Indian automobile market. After implementation, the overall we can say the structure of production planning and control would be beneficial for Maruti Suzuki India Limited, and the conclusion said that Maruti Suzuki India Limited approach to production planning and control exemplify best practices in the automobile industry through continuous innovation and adaptation. The company has set a benchmark for the efficiency, quality, and responsiveness. This case study highlights the importance of integrating advanced techniques and systems to achieve excellence in production planning and control. So basically, that would be very effective. That through the case study we reach number one is what is capacity. As we are very well known that the capacity is defined as the amount of resources or inputs available relative to the output requirement, or we can easily justify what is capacity. Next is the types of capacity, which we have already read. These are some definitions of the different capacities. What is capacity planning? Short term, intermediate range, long term capacity planning. These are some factors that will affect on the capacity planning. What is aggregate planning? These are the objectives of aggregate planning. So what is operation planning and scheduling system? This is a flow chart as we have read about it. What is approaches to aggregate planning? What is master production schedule? These are the objectives of master production schedule. These are the functions. This is a flow chart of MPS. These are some guidelines for MPS. What are the symptoms of poorly designed MPS and how we can improve our MPS? This is a numerical which we have done. Production planning and control we have read. What are the objectives of PPC? Types of PPC. Production control. what is dovetailing of plans, what is scheduling, what are the objectives of scheduling, what are the principles of scheduling, types of scheduling, shop loading, objectives of shop loading, index methods, line balancing, line balancing procedure, and case study. So I hope the session would be beneficial for you. Till then, take care. Bye bye.